The following program is rated TVMA-LSV. It contains smoking, drinking, strong language, sexual innuendos, and virtual violence. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Now, let's get ready to fuck some shit up.
Hey, virtual wrestling fans, it's your boy Sam Schluter, the straight shooter, coming at it once again. Oh my God, I am so blessed. We are so blessed and honored to have none other than one half of the Rock and Rollin' Express, Mr. Ricky Morton, 10-time Smoky Mountain Wrestling Tag Team Champion, 9-time AWA Tag Team Champion, and WWE Hall of Famer. Look, without further ado, I just met him and I want to get into it. For the next 30 minutes, we're about to go rock and roll with Mr. Ricky Morton. Let's go.
You know what, man? I'm glad you said it the first of it because we're here to fuck some shit up.
That's right.
NWA, 9-time World Tag Team
Slam shooters, always
right, man.
Always having
a whatever you want me to be.
That's right. That's right, brother. Man, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm so honored, and it's a privilege to meet you and spend just a little bit of your time with you. And let's get right into it. Man, early 80s, you hook up with your boy, Robert Gibson. Talk about that. First day, how did you guys meet? How did you did you click off right off the back? Or, was it love at first sight, a bromance? Or was it, damn, I don't like that guy. And then, you had to ease up to each other.
No, man, we're both from wrestling families. Robert Gibson's older brother, Ricky Gibson, wrestled. And they were both tag teams in Memphis, Tennessee. That's when I first met Robert. At that time, I was teaming up with a guy named Ken Lucas. But then we both left the territory. Robert went back to Florida. I went to Texas for Southwest Championship Wrestling. And at the time, man, it was just clicking down. My dad, being a second-generation wrestler, my dad was always telling me about tag team wrestling. And Jerry Lawler came down to San Antonio. And he talked to me because, Jerry's the one that started us in the business.
That's right.
He said, man, on the team, you and Robert Gibson up and make a tag team out of you. And, then we went back to Memphis and, here we are, Ricky, Robert, R and R, this right here. And we're on TV. And I'll never forget this. Jimmy Hart told Jerry Lawler, so why don't we call him the Rock and Roll Express? And Jerry Lawler told him, so that's the worst name I ever heard, but we need something. Let's go with it. Okay.
Right.
But I knew Robert. And let me tell you, as him coming from a wrestling family, he knew and I knew. But our first match that we had as a tag team, we didn't do things like they do now. We didn't rehearse. We didn't go out. They just send you to the ring. And Robert and I clicked like a Rolex watch, buddy. I mean,
That's awesome.
We had it all without even going. Our timing was perfect. Our matches were perfect. And, I've been married to Robert for the last 40 years.
That's right.
in professional wrestling business. And we still, we're still active. We still do shows. We still enjoy what we do. But like you said, it was love at first sight.
That is so awesome. So you're second generation. So when was the first time do you remember that you got a little instruction from your dad about the business, about wrestling?
Can I tell you
when you started rolling with your pops?
I'm going to tell you a great story.
I'm going to sit back and enjoy my drink for this. This is
now but my dad hold on for a minute. This is Vince, I got to tell Vince. Okay, listen to me. At this time right now, Vince, I can't make Monday Night Raw. I'm doing a podcast. I will get back with you as soon as I can. Okay.
Tell him you're with Sam Schluter. He knows me very well.
No, that I'm just bullshitting. Somebody called him, man. And I'm sorry. I need to take my phone out of the ring. But
it's all right. It's your moment. You do what you want, baby.
Growing up in the business, my dad, he wrestled, didn't he? Referee, then he started pulling the wrestling ring. That's the way we felt at family. So out of 4 brothers, it's 5 boys and all. I loved going with my dad. I loved the wrestling business. I loved how it changed over the years. But when I was younger, I still thought wrestling was real. Yeah.
Right.
Do you hear me? But then I got in there and I got to see things in the back that nobody else did. But what really got me one time, and I don't know if you know anything about some of the old wrestlers.
I know a little
At that time, they had a babyface tag team. They were the original Heavenly Bodies. It was Don and Al Green. And they were wrestling the Germans at the time. I was like 11 years old. And Saul Weingroff was the manager. And I never forget this. And I'm watching this match. Because what really got me was my dad. My dad lost his mind. He laughing his ass off. But, they get the heat, give the hot tag, and Al Green's finish was the abdominal stretch. And when he gets it, Saul Weingroff is going to come in and hit him in back of the head with the cage. You turn back to the head with the cane. Turn the referee around, it's a DQ. Okay, that was what was supposed to happen. But he grabbed the stretch on him. And my dad's with the other baby facing heel, and Saul comes to the ring and he pulls his cane back, got to hit him. They turned my dad around, and somebody threw a paper cup, and it hit Al Green in the back of the head, and he took a big bump over the top rope out on the floor, and I lost my mind. And my daddy was referee, and he lost his mind because it's something like that happened. A paper cup, but you know what? The people, they didn't get it, but I did, and that's right when I started to smarten up into our business. And that's going. Is that you, Megan?
I'm busy, just like you are, brother. My bad.
Tell Vince to call us back tomorrow. We're busy right now.
He sent me a message. Okay. He said, "What are you doing over there with my boy?"
I got you, man.
Man, so that's awesome. You grew into the business and you smartened up pretty early, and right off the back it was tag team competition.
But during that time, when we put the ring up, me and my dad to get there early. This is back. That's when the business was kayfabe. They never let nobody in before the doors opened up. You were never allowed in the dressing room. Nobody. But when we got the ring up, my dad would work with me a lot every day and talking to me as we traveled down the highways. And see, that's what's wrong, in my opinion, with the business today. And it's not about that. It's great entertainment, great athletes, but half of them don't understand our business and understand it. I'm on the independent circuit all the time, and I get to watch matches, and it seems like every match, everybody's got to get their shit in. It's just getting your shit in, and sometimes it just gets so disgusting to me. But that's another day and another story.
Well, we could cover some of that. How do you feel about the current product? Well, there's an alternative now, and what you're used to is not normally around, but AEW is the alternative, and you do some work with them now.
Yes, I do.
And I really enjoy
it. And I gotta, it's I gotta hand my hat off to them. They do. I just see where they had Baron Von Raschke, whether they're those up north, and you see that is so cool. That is them remembering some of the guys that's not in the business anymore, and giving them a payoff too. That's the most important thing about it. I like I change with the Rick. I watched the business change in 1985 when Robert and I were the two young baby faces that was at the right place at the right time. that's what our business is about, is being at the right place at the right time. I love all the wrestling they got going on, and I love all the promotions they got going on, because it gives an opportunity for everybody to get a chance
That's true.
to wrestle. And if you're out there listening to me, and I'm very seriously, I'm going to be in Brewer, Maine this coming weekend with my son. You know, my son's a third generation wrestler,
Awesome.
but we depend, and this is what we can't let happen in our business, is the fans got to keep coming to see us.
That's true.
You know, because without them, we can't do what we do.
That's right.
Especially on the independent circuit, because that's where the guys come to learn. That's where they come to train. That's where they get their in-ring experience in front of live crowds. So please, you know, I'm for the boys and the ladies of our wrestling business. You know, I stand up for them, and everything that you could do to get your foot through that door. You know, it's a long, hard road in our business, buddy. I mean, it's not nothing ever given to you. And the one thing is that fans that do please understand this. When you see these guys getting this wrestling, you do not know the hell they went through just to get there to perform for you that last night. The training, the traveling,
Right.
the payoffs, you know.
Loss of sleep.
99% of the time, half of them do it for free, just looking for that break. And you only get out of this business what you put into it. I mean, you got to work. I love today's wrestling. Don't get me wrong. I love WWE. I love AEW. I love, you know, NWA Power. GCW is one of my favorites.
I love the comeback of NWA Power. I love that, and I love to see you guys back on there. And it was just,
you know what?
just
and I go
such
ahead.
a treasure to watch you guys go. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm 44 years old, and growing up, I was a big WWF guy, and
Yes,
you guys came back and forth, and I was real big Rock and Roll Express fans. I wasn't too much of a fan of the Midnight Express and Corny.
Well, that's good. And they did their job. Their job was to make you hate them. And
That's true. That's true.
That's good. You know, a guy come back the night at one of the wrestling matches we was on.
But you
And
guys,
I'm watching him come back. But listen to me, I'm watching him come back, and he's a heel, and somebody spit on him. And I know spitting on somebody is the worst thing in the world.
I wish somebody would, because I'll knock their block off.
Yeah, but he's a heel.
Right.
It's funny. Somebody spit on him, and he come to the door, and he's pissed off. And I said, "Listen to me, bud. You can be pissed off, whatever, but look at it like this right here. When he spit on you, you made him hate you. You got your job done."
Yeah.
So that's different ways of looking at it and being that way. You know, it's different ways of looking at stuff.
That is true.
But go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. It's your time, baby. But the Rock and Roll Express just kind of like clicked with me. You guys, you know, you look like you clicked it off in the beginning, and it transcended through TV for me as a child. And you guys, just the way you you ran to the ring, and the ladies were all over you, man. Like, I wanted to be in Rock and Roll Express. You know,
I was
you had the bandanas around the neck. The hair was teased. It was beautiful.
Job. But trust me and believe in me when I say this. That was a time when smaller guys never ever got a break in the business. And you have to remember this too. And territory wrestling, normally the top baby face owned the territory, and hardly ever did you get a break to be able to get over that owner or the booker. And I'm serious. You know, politics in our business is a bitch. But today's wrestling and what I see, my time, we depended on each other to make a living. I see a lot now today. Everybody is they're trying to take everybody else's job. And if when they stop to learn how to work with each other, see, because when you got a top baby face and a top heel, it takes everybody in the territory to get them over. that's what the excitement is when you build that pyramid for them two to meet. But hell, the way I'm watching now, it seems like they just do the match in one night, and the whole thing's over. And I want to tell you, for instance, as me being a babyface, and the fans and everybody's out there, listen to what I'm trying to tell you right now. I kayfabed all my life. I really didn't like to give secrets of our business out. But see, what made us so successful is I sold in the match. And selling really what gets you over. And I promise you it does when you're babyface. And I give Robert a hot tag. But it's even like this on the independent things today. I don't like to win matches. And when people learn how to do that, and the reason why I don't like to win is because the people pay their money to see me beat the heel, but the heel always screws me. You see, that's why you set up for the next match, and that's how you set up for the next match.
It's a metaphor for life. You're always going through the struggle in life,
yes,
and why not go through the struggle in the ring?
That's what our business is missing now. The baby face chasing the heels, and that's what it's all about. I never want, I was 9-time world tag team champions, but as soon as we got them, we dropped them to another team before we chased them. You see, that's what the people want to see, and that's what you get. But nowadays they cram everything into, you cram a 20-minute match into 3 minutes, or you cram a 15-minute match, an hour into a 15-minute match. And it's getting where people don't understand it.
The spot fest.
Beg your pardon?
The spot fest. Everybody wants to do the big spots, and nobody wants to tell the body language. Nobody wants to tell the story with their body language.
Everybody just wants to do their shit.
Right.
And their shit don't mean nothing about the match, telling the story.
Right.
Now that's where I come in. I love to go somewhere and try to make these guys, and what I'm going back to is what I told you earlier, is to make you understand what our business is, because our business is gonna have to change, man. I'm telling you, because you get tired of going out watching trapeze acts, and I do, and I watch it. I get tired of watching trapeze acts. I want to see a story. I want something to mean something, and you do have a lot of good kids out there that do understand it, but the bookers or the agents, that they're not understanding it. That's where it comes into the agent.
What story are you liking right now? Whatever promotion, what storyline that's on either promotion right now? What's capturing your eye?
Well, what's catching my eye is some of the tag team wrestling, because that's what I do.
Right.
But normally,
who's your favorite tag team besides yourself?
Myself, I like all of them. But FTR, I love them. I would love to go to AEW and just work with these guys, because these guys understand old school wrestling and new school wrestling.
Right.
And to get two baby faces that are so hot, I love for them to turn the Young Bucks back baby face. For I can go in, if they gave me this opportunity and let me set this match up, where the Young Bucks are doing their thing, but FTR with Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
They screw them like they did with Jimmy Cornette. And I could show these promoters, I'm serious.
Yeah.
What real heat is about in our match. In our matches.
The Rock and Roll Express versus FTR. Wow.
Well, you know what? I think that's going to happen.
Ooh, I hope so. You heard it here, folks, first on the show.
Yeah, but it's not going to be on AEW. You know what I'm saying? I guess
there's a lot of cross promotion happening, so it could be NWA.
Probably I'm 65 years old.
So
what's that?
What was your out of all the years you wrestled, what's your favorite promotion?
Oh, it had to be NWA. But you know what? It was NWA. That's where we worked on top. But wow, man, Memphis. There was nothing to ever compare wrestling to Memphis area. guys, I'm talking about in the mid '70s
Oh yeah.
and it right up to like the '80, like that 10-year span, '75 to '85. Bro, you can't believe this. I mean, I'm telling you, here they had Memphis. They had live TV every Saturday. That's right when the Memphis Grizzlies were coming in basketball.
Hmm.
Okay, and we wrestled at the Mid South here, the Mid South Coliseum. And guys, listen to me, and I'm not bullshitting you a bit. Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, they ran their territory like that. You bring the heels in and getting beat. But when the Memphis Grizzlies can only draw 1,500 to a basketball game
Hmm.
at that time. Oh, and you ever been in the Mid South Coliseum with 1,500 people? It looked like somebody threw a hand grenade in there. Ain't nobody in there, and then the wrestling, it sold out. It sold out on Sunday for a Monday night show. You hear me? This is every week. Every week, you hear me? Then every week, that same territory was Louisville, Kentucky, sold out. Evansville, Indiana, sold out. You had your spot shows and your Tupelo, but then you had your Nashville on Saturday nights, and you did live TV every Saturday. And dude, I'm telling you, you just don't even understand how it was. The people coming in then, and I was telling you earlier about territories, about the bigger guys, and it changed. Bill Watts was getting ready to retire. And when Robert and I go into Mid South into Louisiana, hell, everybody there is 6'8", 6'9". I look like little midget running around the place there. But the business was changing, and Bill Watts knew that, and it was a smart man because, dude, we went from the little small buildings to the huge gymnasiums to the Superdome to the Centralplex. All because it was a new deal. Less than a Midnight Express just blew the roof off these buildings. The
Right.
greatest entertainment in the world.
Right. Who do you think was the best promoter?
It's not the part about something. Dusty Rhodes was the best booker. Jimmy
The best
Crockett.
booker.
Yeah, now when it comes to a promoter, Paul Bosch out of Houston, Texas. He was and the reason why he was the greatest, and I'm going to tell you, is because he paid good.
He paid good.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't do like Bill Walsh used to tell you. There's a difference between the net and the gross.
Who was the worst? Who was the worst?
Nick Goulas.
Nick Goulas. What promotion?
Oh
did
yeah.
he do?
Now listen to me. Now he'll pay you $10. and $10.
And what year was that?
Oh, this is in the early '70s.
Well, how much $10 was worth in the early '70s? That was like $30.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is, though, he told me, says, it ain't what you make, it's what you save. Yeah, what the hell can you save off $10? No, but you're true. At that time, gas was what, 30 cents a gallon?
Right.
Probably cheaper than that. And I remember too, they don't have them now because now you have chains of hotels, which is all right. But you had hotels that some of them didn't even cost $8 a night. I'm telling you.
When you're not living, breathing, walking, talking, wrestling, what do you do? What does the great Ricky Morton do on his off time?
Well, the first thing I do every morning, and believe it or not, I'm not a bodybuilder, but I go to the gym. I work out. Still go to even when I'm on the road. I have 8 children. Can I tell you a good story here in a minute?
8 children.
Yeah, I have 13 grandkids.
Well, how'd you get the time, Ricky? You was always on the road. You're 9-time champion over here, 10-time champion over there. Was you taking your wife on the road with you?
No, I only came home 8 times in 40 years. No, I know that we're talking wrestling, and I know that's a lot of things, and I'm not jumping. But I'm going to tell you how Ricky Morton really is.
Sure. That's what the fans want to know.
Yeah, and I
This
want
day
to
and
tell you
age,
how it really
this
is.
day and age,
And,
they want to be
and this
more
is what
interactive.
led. This is what just led this into this story. But me and my wife, we had 7 kids. Okay, and I have 13 grandkids. But with the eighth come, I was doing a show last week, a virtual, was doing a signing in Pensacola, Florida, and this girl walked up to me and gave me a note, and I opened it up and read it. And she told me my boyfriend is named Nick, and here's his number. His grandmother told him that you was his daddy. So I called the guy. I called him. He come over to where we were at, and he and and when he first walked up, and I never seen him before either. Robert told me, Robert Gibson. Robert goes, "Damn, Ricky, your son Brad's here." You hear me? And he looked just like
You.
my mother's son, Brad. So I get to talking to him, so we did the DNA test. 9.999999. But understand
Holy
me,
shit.
his mother died when he was 5 years old,
Rest in
and
peace.
his grandmother raised him, and she died, I think, like 10 years ago. But she told him right before he died that I was his daddy. All right. But I did the thing. But you know what? Now that's why I tell you that I have 8 children. He has become part of our family. He's our family now.
Yes,
And
without
my
a doubt.
kids love him. No, my wife loves him to death. I mean, listen, dude, that's just what happened. And
It's life, brother.
I took responsibility. And it's not taking responsibility. But, when I talk to him every time, he tells me, I love you, Dad. And I tell him, I love you too, Nick. All right. It's just the way it is, bud. And it's
Man,
great.
that's
It's
awesome. And
just,
I'm glad for you that you able to reconnect with somebody that you never
yeah, but you know
knew
what?
existed.
It is. He's my boy. And now,
What
go ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just finishing up on
Right.
that. Just,
Man, that's just awesome. And 8 kids, and there's a third generation wrestler in there.
yes, buddy, my son, Kerry. And now, see, he did the same thing I did with my dad. I got pictures of him when I'd bring him in the building in a stroller. You hear me?
Yeah,
I
I
took
hear
him
you.
with me everywhere I went. Just, he grew up in the business, and I'm telling you, he's unbelievable. But the one thing in my life that I never got to do was get an education, and he has 2 more years of college. Okay, that's Daddy's.
You want them to finish.
Yeah, that's Daddy's big deal.
Yes.
Yeah, but now listen to me here again. In our wrestling business, with an education, Jesus Christ, you can make 3 times the money. Then you could do your little wrestling thing, but when that's over, you could work at the office and make more money than you did doing backdrops or diving out on the floor.
That's true. You
You
could
can
be the
still be
promoter.
this business, uh, and that's a big deal. I mean, I don't know if you even realize what. And my son was, he's an actor too. He's not like me, but he could talk. He get on there, cut an interview, badass, and then he studies our wrestling business. I don't give a damn who you are. If you only had your first match in Poking Plum, Arkansas, he knows about it. You see, and that's
Nice.
what makes a good commentator. Do you know what them guys make a year? Sitting out there talking. Oh
They
God,
make
bro,
they good
a
money. They
hell of a
make it
lot
good.
more
Yes,
than
yes.
wrestling. I can tell you that. Uh, See that? So that's what I'm trying to educate him on it, and to do that because it's more to our business than wrestling, and then that's what I want him to really get into.
Now, off subject a little bit. You always had great rock and roll big hair, 80s style hair. Besides you, which other wrestler do you think had great hair?
Oh, at that time, Jimmy Valiant. You remember Boogie
Man, the
Woogie?
Boogie Woogie man is like one of my all-time favorites.
I,
I'm
I,
trying
I
to.
was just I was just with him Saturday night. He's 79 years old. He didn't wrestle, but he was there, and he could. He was all over the place.
I
You know,
I
I mean, he was
I
like a
I
cat
think I
on a
sent
hot
him a
stove.
message. I hope he seen it because the Boogie Woogie man was one of the greats, and also him and
Michael Hayes.
Iceman King Parsman was one of my favorite
Oh,
guys.
I love Iceman. You know, I still
Iceman.
talk to him every now and then. He lives out in Dallas, Texas.
I follow
He's
him on Facebook. Yeah.
and you tell him that I said hi. He was, you know what? I always see in my life, I treat people the way they treat me.
It's true.
You know, and me and Iceman hit it off right at the beginning.
And
And not only is he,
last
mhm.
week I spoke with James Ellsworth, and he's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
"Well, I spoke to Ricky Morton, and he's just like my Uncle Ricky." And I feel what he was
yeah,
talking about right now, talking to you for the first time. Like we got like about 3 minutes left on this time, but like I could talk to Uncle Ricky all night long. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, man, and it's really cool. I just you know, I love the boys of our business, and I love to see them chase their dreams. And that's what it's all about. And listen, if you get a chance, and everybody out there too, it's called School of Morton. I come on every Sunday on YouTube, School of
Let him
Morton
know.
YouTube. I have a wrestling uh, school that comes on. I teach people. I try and to make them understand the business. And if you get a chance, guys, catch it. And if you're ever out here in East Tennessee, on every Sunday at 5:05, I have a live show. Come and see me. I have pay-per-views there. I just had one Friday night there. And then Christmas night, I'm going to have one. But don't get me wrong, my tickets are not $500. It's for my kids. And
Right.
that's the best experience in the world is being in the ring.
And if people want to contact you and book you for any shows, any interviews, how do they do that? Let them know.
They just go on my Facebook, Ricky Morton, Twitter, real Ricky Morton. No,
Instagram
I think
too.
it's Instagram, real Ricky Morton. I believe it's Instagram, and but I just love my business so much, and to you, you know, we have a good time. I like talking about the business. I don't. Do we have a little few more minutes?
Look, we got all the time you want, brother.
Okay, now this is what I'm
Go
saying.
ahead. Hey,
Now I get this question.
what do you think for the future? For the future of the wrestling business, what do you think is gonna happen? What do you see happening?
Uh,
Do you think it's going in a good direction now that WWE has competition now?
well,
Some
that's
people might
all right.
not call it competition because
Yeah,
WWE is kind of like in a league of their own. They got for billions of millions of dollars. They got the Saudi deal and you know
yeah,
all of this and all of that.
but have you noticed? And I think Ray Charles could see this. Have you noticed? Have you noticed a lot of the they released a lot of people
A lot.
to go. Yeah, but that's the deal. You can understand. I can see this coming. Vince McMahon is going to sell WWE, and
You think?
he's trying to get the overhead down. He's trying to make it look like we're showing a profit, in which Vince makes billions and dollars.
For
But
billions.
yeah, I got you. You understand? I mean, he's done
Right.
made it. He's getting older.
Now, do
Uh,
you think that amount of release and all that talent just rushing to the indies, do you think that's a burden or is it a gift for Tony Khan?
it's which see you got to understand. Tony Khan opened up wrestling because he loves it. You see, he loves the boy. Have you ever met Tony?
No, no, I
Oh,
haven't
he's
had the pleasure. I've been to a few AEW shows, and
yeah,
me
he's cool.
personally, I love AEW before they went to TV. I went to the
Yeah,
pay-per-views when they were before they went to TV,
yeah,
and it was a different type of feel. It was more like ECW off the cuff feel.
I
But
got you now. Okay,
now they're
now,
on TV and they got to restrain it a little bit.
okay, now
That's just my personal opinion,
okay, I got you, and I have my own personal
and we want to hear
feeling
it.
too. Okay, but it's like that. Tony Khan is he loves our business too, and he started a promotion that, look at it. It really does great. I mean, you ought to see some of these crowds they have. But last week, for the first time, and I'm saying it's bad about the company, and I'm not saying it bad about the boys.
Right.
But when I turned on TV, I thought I was watching WWE 5 years ago. Mm. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I feel you.
It was all the OWE boys on the show. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just the names were changed.
Their whole thing was, we're going to be new, and then you get the influx of old boys from WWE. It is.
And don't get me wrong, I'm proud for those boys.
Everybody got to work.
They signed new contracts and still making good money. But I like the Young Bucks being babyface. I like the FTR being the heels. I like Kenny Omega being a baby face, and Chris Jericho being a heel, them fighting each other. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what really caught my mind. And I knew, and all these kids I watched grow up in the business. I still love the guys, and the guys please don't think that I'm saying anything bad or knocking your business. But I love the AEW the way it was. Do you hear me? And plus, they gave guys, and if you watch their dark matches and stuff, they give everybody a chance.
Right.
I seen James Drake on there. He's there with Coco Cabana. All them guys, they were all independent boys except for Cabana, but they all got a break, and they all got their gimmicks. Look here, my dog's up here in my lap.
That's beautiful. Don't worry, I got a lucha pup running around here too. Y'all heard him earlier.
Yeah, this is Doug. I think he thinks I'm talking to him because he don't understand. Doug, get down, buddy. Go. But I love the business. And another thing I wanted to say too.
Yes.
In my day, I get asked this a lot, and I know you didn't ask me this question, but who was the greatest people that we worked with, or some of the great workers?
Oh, that was coming up.
Yeah. Hey, all of them.
All of them.
And our business was so sacred that if you wasn't good, you couldn't be in it. Even the underneath kids were.
Yeah.
The underneath kids will blow your mind. The George Southers, the Diddy Browns, the David Isleys that got the people over on TV, the Mulkey brothers. All these people were great workers in our business. We just had different kind and being at the right place, like the Midnight Express, Dennis Condrey, Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane. All of them were great. And then we went to Ole and Arn and Tully, the Four Horsemen, and all of them were fantastic, super workers, and that's the reason it clicked. Ivan Koloff, in 1985 when we came to Charlotte, Dusty Rhodes, he reads the newspapers, he knows what's up. We were having a big conflict with Russia, and here Robert and I, the first time ever, two real all-American kids with the hair. Band hair and all this stuff, and here we come, and it changed the wrestling business, and I'm so blessed to know that I was there to watch this business change, because my friend, there's no way that I can explain to you how it was then. You just don't and it started like that in Memphis.
You had to be there.
That Memphis. What's that?
You had to be there.
You had to be there.
I was fortunate. I was fortunate that I grew up in a time where we had WCW, we had NWA, we had the territories before Vince took over, and then it made it a worldwide conglomerate like it is right now, and it's all good. But sometimes, me personally, I miss the kayfabe.
Yes.
How about you?
I miss, buddy. I miss. Yeah, I go into locker rooms nowadays, and this really pisses me off too. And I'm just going to tell you this, man.
This is the shoot.
I go in the dressing rooms, and here's the guy wrestling, and he's got his fucking girlfriend with him, in the dressing room. And I walk in, I said, dude, who's this? This is my girlfriend. And then I give Robert the Iggy. And the reason I'm telling you this, the question that's been asked to me, what's the difference between you and Robert? Well, you want to hear the real thing? I walk up, put it in, he puts it in and walks up. Okay. Okay. Now, I tell Robert, I said, Robert got a guy to check, he's being an asshole. Robert's a proud man. He'll just strip off naked, start walking around. Now, do you understand what I'm saying? That boy get his girlfriend out of there quick, especially when it's swinging down around your knees. Okay. Oh, hell yeah.
Some things are sacred. I grew up in the martial arts world since I was 5 years old. And like, I would never, ever take my girlfriend into the dojo's locker room.
Oh, no. Buddy.
Like, that's the man's place, and that's for the fighters, and that's for the wrestlers.
And my wife, she comes with me to wrestling all the time, bro. She never seen her in the dressing room. You hear me? Never seen nothing like that.
Who
used to be the dressing room was the most sacred place in the world.
That's right.
You couldn't even, no, it's not even allowed in there. I mean, if you wasn't wrestling on the show and you worked the territory, you still couldn't come in the dressing room.
I love the stories
of everybody
Andre the Giant. I love the stories of Andre the Giant when people walk in the locker room, they're like, "Get out! Get out!"
Oh, yes, he would. And I seen people throw them out too, just grab them by the hair of the head and sling them out, because that was our sacred place. Our business was so sacred. You never seen a heel and a baby face together? Never. God, that was the cardinal rule, man. God,
So you're here. You're here with me today. Mm-hmm. So it's 2021. You're evolving, and the business is evolving. And for older guys like yourself, that these moments are important to do these interviews, to keep the old ways alive, because we can't know where we're going if we don't know where we came from.
That's right. And that's what I try to pass down, brother. You don't even know. And before I go, I want to tell you the good story about I went on Chris Jericho's cruise. Okay.
I still haven't went.
And I love Chris. Let me tell you something. Some of the things that people don't know about Chris Jericho, but they need to know. Chris has been very successful in his business and in his music, and you just don't know what he does to help the boys out. Because he knows that in our era we never made the millions of dollars or nothing. It's like Bobby Eaton passed away. Chris took care of everything. Yeah. But not only him, it's been several wrestlers that he's done that for. Some of the boys get hurt. They have no way to pay their bills. Chris is there always, and nobody ever asked him. And half the time they don't know where it came from, but I know where it came from. Somebody did this right here and did that, but it's Chris Jericho doing that. But I was on Chris Jericho's cruise. And, they had the boys on there. They had the wrestling matches. Me and Robert are on there. We watching a band. But then it came Robert Gibson and myself's time. So I get up on stage, and this is my job. And I'm talking, and I wanted to thank the people, and I thank Chris for bringing me on the cruise. WWE Hall of Famer, 9-time World Tag Team Champions. And I get to host fucking bingo. So
you gotta love it.
I get to host fucking bingo, me and Robert. Hey, but you know what? And I always remember this, and anything you do, when you got it, do it the best you can. It was the greatest bingo game that's ever been played in history.
Rock and roll.
Well, no, but me, I'm full of bullshit anyway. And I got everybody laughing and they're screaming. I started that off on there. That's what I said. I said, here I am, me and Robert. We get to host fucking bingo.
Ricky, who's more wild? Who's more wild, you or Robert?
In our
Outside,
day,
yeah.
well, now we
In
both
your
done mellow out,
well,
you
yeah,
know.
of course. But in your heyday, when y'all on the road, you're going from one show to the other.
Brother,
You're
we didn't go to bed
traveling.
for 30
Who?
years. Do you hear me?
I
No,
hear you.
man.
I hear you. I wish
We,
I was there.
no, you don't understand.
Balls to the
Me and
wall.
Robert was partners in and out of the ring, bro. We had a hell of a time.
Bless him.
You know what? And it's I'm gonna write a book, but I really don't know how to do
If
it
you could
really
say all
because
of it.
no, you can't, man. Nowadays, you know, only thing
Nowadays, you
that
can't.
I'm glad that they what they have now that we didn't have back then. I'm glad they didn't was fucking
Oh,
social media.
oh,
Holy shit, you know.
everybody
And
would have been canceled in 1991,
yeah,
1988.
hey man, hey, with all no, I'm just saying I never did nothing. But listen to me, nothing that didn't nobody want me to. And nothing that was underage or a party. I was in bars every night. I had a hell of a time, you know, partying with Ric Flair, and this is every night shit. You know, doing some of the greatest things that I remember. I walked into a place. Me and Ric Flair were in New York City, and Chuck Berry was playing at the Hard Rock Cafe. So we walk in, and Rick goes up and buys two seats right from two people right there in front of the stage. You know, I no telling what he paid for them. You understand me?
Right.
But before we could even sit down, Chuck Berry recognized us. He got us on stage, and damn, I sat right there next to the guy. What was the guy in the Ghostbusters? Or damn, I forget. He was one of the actors from
Uh-huh.
I knew his name, but now I can't even think of the damn thing.
Was it Dan Aykroyd?
Dan Aykroyd sat right
There it
next
goes.
to Dan Aykroyd. And you
Rocking
know
out.
what? He knew us just like we knew him. And we had a hell of a time sitting there playing. And, I had a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of people in our business, rock stars.
Right.
Been there with them. I don't like to tell stories because, bro, that's crazy shit. There was nothing like in the 80s. There was nothing like in the 80s. It was to go to Los Angeles, California. That was the Motley Crue days. Holy shit, bro. See, it's not about just going to a town wrestling. You know, these guys knew us. They'd come by and pick us up and take us to these places, man. And it's craziest shit you ever seen in your life. In Chicago, right there, you was talking about. They used to have a place
hometown.
They used to have a place there called the Stay Out Club. I don't know if you remember that or not. Holy shit, bro. That was a great it never closed. You understand me? Oh no, after the show in Chicago, we'd go to that club and go straight to the airport. Then we come out, the sun's shining and shit and hangovers and
You mentioned Chicago, and one of my favorite teams, the Road Warriors from Chicago. Tell me a War Warrior story.
Oh man, when I first met him, we was working territories then, and me and Robert were the top down baby face in Louisiana, and we're wrestling the Road Warriors in the Superdome. But there's 50,000 people there.
Yeah,
you hear me? And I never met them before, and they kayfabe. We didn't get to go over. You didn't get to go over and talk over spots with them. And all you heard about them was how bad they were and how they beat people.
I always heard that they did what they want.
But then here I am. I'm telling Robert, man, this is our territory. I says, I guess I'm going to take an ass whooping because I'm just not going to go out there and just let them do that. But I get in the ring and I start the match off with Joe. And brother, he looked like the Sears Tower standing in front of him, and here I am. So I get in the ring and I'm thinking, I'm all ready. I'm jacked. I lock up with him and listen, he called a spot in the ring. He says, duck my clothesline, drop kick me, then drop kick Mike, animal. I mean, Hawk when he comes in. But you got to see we worked this to perfect because he's trying to catch me and I'm staying away from him and blah blah blah. Then when he finally grabs me, he hits me, shoots me off. I duck his clothesline. I hit him with the drop kick. He goes completely over the top rope. Mike comes in. I drop kick him. He goes over the top rope. Now, really, I'm doing my thing in the ring, but really, I'm standing there with my finger to my ass going, boy, what a dumb son of a bitch I am. These guys know how to work, and they know how to work. They knew, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And they put us over with a double drop kick. We beat them with the double drop kick. And
you will never see that in today's time.
No. But see, they do their job. They come in our territory. I imagine Bill Watts gave them one hell of a payoff, but it's still that's just business, and that's the way things work. I had some great times, great matches. Ric Flair. I had the greatest opportunity in the world to work an angle with him, and I went to school. That's really where I learned what our business is about, and I can tell you about Rick before we go here. I wrestled Rick 17.
Legendary.
I wrestled Rick 17 days in a row. That was an hour time limit match every night, twice on Saturday and twice on Sunday.
Good night.
And then I'm going to do with one of him. And let me tell you something, buddy. Like Charlotte, it was half and half, but Philadelphia is the biggest heel town in the world. I don't think them fuckers even like ice cream.
No. Man,
so but I went to the ring, and listen, this is an education that I learned, buddy. I go to the ring with Rick. I go to the ring first, and I'm everything but Ricky Morton. I mean, queer, Susie. I mean, everything. Then they play Flair's music, and it comes out. These people lost their fucking mind. Now we are supposed to go an hour. Now this is how smart Ric Flair is and how good he is. And the guys today don't have a clue because they want that pop. You hear me?
Yeah.
We get in the ring and they're cuss up 10 minutes in that match. Ric Flair has done turned every person in that building. They're throwing shit at him. Okay, he's getting
I miss that. I miss where fans throw shit.
Yeah. Okay, listen, and now Ricky's really getting the heat on me, boy, and I'm sullen. That's after he tore my face up and I'm bleeding. They pushed the guardrails all the way to the ring. Okay, now they're throwing shit. I see Arn Anderson come down because he knows what's fixing to happen. Okay, then Robert comes down. Then Rick tells me, we're supposed to go an hour. This is 20 minutes into the match. He said, Ricky, if we don't get out of here, they're going to kill me. And that's just like you did. He said, I'm gonna throw it. Back then, over the top rope was a DQ. Yeah. He told me, so I'm going to throw you over the top rope and land on the people because they'll catch you. And they did. He said that when they put you back up, go up to the top rope. Right? So he threw me over and the people caught me. They put me back on the ring and I get up and I go up the top rope and see Rick's already gone. You hear me? I'm standing in the ring by myself. He didn't get the hell beat out of him. He after when they did that, he slid out of the ring, went out that side door and was gone. And that's education. Do you ever see people do that these days? I watch sometimes on TV. I notice this. The heel, the crowd will be cheering him, and he be cheering them on. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And you never see him. You never see him.
The demographic has changed now. It's changed.
Yeah,
but they never
turn around.
Boo the face and they cheer the heel.
Yeah, but the heel never turns around and tell him to shut up. Don't cheer me. I hate y'all. That never happens no more. Right. Thank you, man, for having me on your show.
Man, thank you. Hey, and I feel what Ellsworth was saying. You my Uncle Ricky now, man.
Nah, buddy.
You my Uncle Ricky.
You have my phone number?
No, but we'll talk later and you could pass it on to me. Yeah, we're going to do this again. And guess what? Yeah. What are the chances that the Rock and Roll Express join?
Robert and I both?
Yes. Join
the
2KWE in the virtual wrestling world and make an appearance here on 2KWE in the virtual world.
Oh, buddy, if that happens, it'll be more than a pleasure to do it. All right. You see, and thank you. I do stuff for a living.
Okay.
Oh, you hear me? But I love my business. And I love people like you. You see, I can look at you and tell you that you love this business as much as I do.
Hey,
And
I cried when Andre the Giant ripped the cross off of Hulkamania. I cried.
yeah, I got you, buddy.
Hey,
But see
I met Ivan Koloff and I told him, hey, I used to hate you when I was little. And he's
yes.
like, I did my job. And I was like, yes, you did.
Hey, Ivan was, buddy, he was a machine. I learned a lot. You got to understand now. We worked on top of Louisiana, but when we come into NWA, I mean, dude, we was the top baby faces. And I had people like Ivan, Ole Anderson, Ric Flair. These guys guided us. And we just didn't, dude, I'm talking about, you don't understand. People would camp out to get fucking tickets to see us wrestle.
Before we leave, I want to
yes.
know your opinion on Ring of Honor. They just released to everybody, and they're gonna hold their commitments up to April 2022. But what advice do you have for the crew that got released from Ring of Honor? What advice you got for that
Well,
young talent?
if they are holding their contracts until April, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I mean, they're still getting paid.
They're still getting paid. That's
okay.
That's the word.
Now, what I want to tell you is, and really, you're blessed. I mean, the people that own Ring of Honor that's still doing that to April and give you that money, they could just shut it down until you go fuck yourself, but they didn't.
Right.
But they didn't.
That's good
and
business.
You got to respect that. You never know what the future brings. And these guys that are there, and remember, if they ever do start back up, they didn't forget about you. And if they do start back up, don't you forget about them. Help them get back on their feet, if that's what's going to happen. And if it don't happen, this for the rest of your life, you have some of the greatest memories you ever have. You were a part of a Ring of Honor.
Now, 2017, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was inducted. The Rock and Roll Express was inducted to the Hall of Fame in the WWE Hall of Fame. What was that experience like? And Jim Cornette, which I believe was like your arch enemy at the time, Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express, Jim Cornette with the racket. God damn, Cornette. But he did his job. And
man,
he introduced, and I think it could have been nobody better than Jim Cornette to introduce.
There couldn't be, but my only deal is I hate that they didn't put the Midnight Express in before Bobby died. But man, you just don't even understand. And really, we never worked for WWE. WWE we never worked for. I mean, and the only thing we did a few things for WWF, but that was just, it wasn't. Yeah, it was just, yes. To be, they told us, and when they called, I never forget this. Is great. He said, we can't have a real Hall of Fame unless we put the Rock and Roll Express in it. And that's probably gave me goosebumps. I've never been treated so good in my life. Everything from flying to being there to coming home inducted. Not only was it first class, it was super first class. I mean, I'm telling you, just don't even know what they did, and meeting them and talking to Vince and Hunter and Linda McMahon. It was, I mean, they treated you like you belong there. Do you understand me?
Yes.
And people can say anything they want to about Vince. It's all right. I know Vince, and it ain't like we sit down and I talk to him every day. I hadn't, only last time I talked to him was that when they put us in the Hall of Fame. but he took his time with us. Because you got to understand, when you own a company like that, and you work billions of dollars and everybody wants a piece of it, everybody in the world tries to be his best friend. And I guess he really got tired of that shit. So he just started telling him to fuck off, I would imagine. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Heavy is the crown.
You don't know who's going to be your friend, really. It was the greatest thing that ever happened to me in the business. And I'm serious. I even after working at NWA, the greatest thing that ever happened to Robert and I is when they inducted us into the Hall of Fame. It's great. I wear my ring all the time. I'm proud of it and all that thing. But my friend, please have me back. Would you please?
We will have you back. And
yes.
we gotta have Uncle Ricky back.
Man, I love coming back.
And
give me some here. Put your fists up here.
There you go.
Give me some.
There you
all
go,
right.
brother. And,
thank you. I got you.
And be on the lookout. The Rock and Roll Express will make a debut at 2KWE. Without that.
Hey,
in virtual world. In virtual world.
You never know. I'm 65 years old and I'm still in my prime, bro. Okay.
That leads me up to my next question.
Yeah.
When is it gonna be the last match? How long are you 65? How long are you gonna go? How much gas you got left in the tank, brother?
Yeah, bro. Look here, man.
When I get 65, I want to be like Ricky Morton.
I love the business, and that's why. When I cannot give the people their money's worth, that's when I step out of the ring. But I can still give the money's worth. I can still do some crazy shit every now and then if I want to. All right. Have a good night, my friend.
You too, brother. Thank you very much. And we will see you soon. Rock and roll forever.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you, brother. All right. That was an awesome. We done went past 30 minutes. I can't even explain what just happened, but it was awesome. The Rock and Roll Express, one half, Ricky Morton. Hey, you just might see them in 2KWE. What can I say? All right, folks, I'm Sam Schluter, the straight shooter. And this has been The Shoot, episode 2. Hey, what are you going to do? This has been great. Man, I'm cheesy. I'm smiling. Uncle Ricky made me happy. And we're so blessed and honored to have Ricky Morton, one half of the Hall of Fame Rock and Roll Express. See you next time.